It is mail time. I'm here with Stella. She just decided to join me, and we're going to open up the mail and we're going to see what the cats got. Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, and Boo, the lucky ferals. I'd like to give a shout out to Abril, C.R.Barboni, and Danielle Coffroad. Thank you so much for your patronage this month and your generous support. Okay, Stella, you ready? We're gonna open up this card. Stella says it smells good. See the blue jay? Stella, see the blue jay? You like the blue jay? Stella says yes, she likes blue jays. This says, in the silence of the manger cradle, in the quiet of our waiting hearts, love was born at Christmas. Isn't that nice, Stella? Stella, you see the animals on it? Thank you very much. It says, wishing you the love and warmth the miracle of Christmas brings. December 2020. Wow, this card just arrived. That took a long time to get here. And this is from Eileen. Thank you so much, Eileen, for your donation. This will be put to good use on cat supplies. And thank you so much for your lovely card. And here's another card. And this one has some hot chocolate on the back of it. That's what it looks like. It looks like hot chocolate and maybe some cookies. Let's open up this one, Stella. What's in here, Stella? What does this say, Stella? It says, love came down that Christmas night, filling all the world with light. Stella, Splash, Boo, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, wishing you a joyous Christmas and a bright and happy New Year. From Eileen. Thank you so much, Eileen, for this Christmas card and for your donations. Very nice of you to think of us. And here's another card. Stella, you gonna help me open this one? You gonna help me open it? I have my new letter opener, so it's easy to open. This says, with thanks, and there's a hummingbird. Isn't that pretty? Two lucky ferals, Stella, Boo, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto. Your kindness is greatly appreciated. From Eileen. Thank you so much, Eileen, for your generous donations and for this lovely card. We hope you've been enjoying the videos. Stella says thank you very much. Okay, Stella, we're going to open this one. You're going to smell it first. Do you approve of it? Stella says, okay, I can open it. Here's a PetSmart gift card. Thank you very much. This says, Dear Feral Kitties Angel, I am very impressed by what you do for the feral cats that you have rescued. The expense and workload must be huge, especially for taking care of the outside cats. I am enclosing a gift card to help a little with some of the expense. Thank you very much. For a while, I was so depressed by the situation of the outdoor cats that I could not watch your YouTube channel. However, when I recently noticed a title of Ditto Loves His New Shelter, I did watch that episode. It was so good to see both Hydrox and Ditto looking happier and healthier. I am perhaps way out of touch with reality, but it made me so sad to see Hydrox watching you while you were socializing Boo. It seems to me that Hydrox is not a very assertive cat. In one episode, I watched him let Ditto eat his food. And I was disturbed that you did not then bring a second plate of food to give to Hydrox. It seems possible to me that Hydrox's lack of assertiveness may be because he is depressed and feels uncared for because he has not received the same level of attention and is the one who is still stuck outside in the cold. Hence his hesitancy to eat his food when Ditto is present. and the soiling of his shelter on cold, dark nights when other cats or predators might threaten him if he goes outside. It looks like you may be considering letting Ditto become an inside cat. If so, it would break my heart if you do not do what it takes to have Hydrox as an inside cat as well. Have you considered trying to find someone to adopt Hydrox and Ditto? I would consider asking you if I might adopt them, except for the fact that I live so far away. I'm quite old and live on a fixed income. My last 2 cats, a stray and a rescue, had huge medical bills, and I don't think I could afford that again. I should probably not be expressing these thoughts. Putting yourself out there to the public may make you feel vulnerable. My criticism when I don't really understand the effort and expense of what you do is most likely unjustified, but watching little Hydrox when he appears timid, cold, unwell, and unhappy breaks my heart. Sincerely, Carol. Firstly, thank you very much for the PetSmart gift card. It is definitely appreciated and will be put to good use on cat supplies. Now let's talk about Hydrox. So Hydrox has had every opportunity that every other cat has had that has been in this yard. Hydrox was one of the first cats that appeared in this yard soon after I moved into this house, which was quite a few years before Stella and the kittens showed up. And Hydrox never had any interest in interacting with me or with any of the humans in this house or in this yard. He would literally try to avoid us whenever he possibly could. And I put food out for him, and I put water out for him, and I was always nice to him, and he didn't care about it. He was a very happy feral cat, living in the woods or just hanging out in the yard, roaming the neighborhood, doing what feral cats do. And then when Stella and Boo started coming around, I fed them the same way that I used to feed Hydrox. I put dry food out for them. I put some water out for them. And it really wasn't anything different except for the fact that I always saw Stella and Boo together. They were always together. I never saw them apart. And they started coming around more and more frequently than any of the other cats did. And eventually Stella started coming around by herself, begging for food. At that time, I had no idea that she was pregnant, or more likely she was a nursing mother at that point. When she was coming around by herself, I believe that was after she had her kittens, and she was looking for food to sustain herself. Because she was so thin, she was pretty much starving. And so once Stella started coming around more and more often, pretty much on a daily basis, if not multiple times a day, then I started feeding her more often. It wasn't until I saw the kittens, until I saw Splash and Simba, that I said, okay, I really need to get more involved with these cats, because now I have some kittens that I need to take care of. I have to make sure that these kittens are being taken care of. So that's when I really upped my game with as far as how much food I'm putting out, the quality of the food I'm putting out, eventually getting an automatic feeder outside, making sure Stella was taken care of. And that's when I realized the family dynamics with Stella and Boo and the kittens, because when Stella would come around by herself and I would peek under the fence to see where she came from, I'd see the kittens and I would see Boo with them. So Boo was like a babysitter, and he would babysit the kittens while Stella came to eat food. And then once the kittens were old enough to walk and kind of walk into the yard, then Stella introduced me to the kittens, and then I started interacting with her kittens and Boo and her as a family unit. Even though Boo did not come around as much as Stella and the kittens did, he did show up usually around dinner time, and he'd hang out with them. And when I was playing with Splash and Simba with toys outside on their play rug, they had a play rug on the patio, just like they have this play rug here, Boo would join in. Boo really liked to play with the kittens. And during that whole time, Hydrox was around. Hydrox had every opportunity that Boo, Stella, and the kittens had. So it's not like he didn't have the opportunities. He was very happy to be off hunting in the woods. And he was obviously a good hunter because he had been surviving for many years before Stella and Boo were even born. As I film this, Hydrox is a minimum of 8 or 9 years old. I don't know his exact age because he was already a grown cat when I moved into this house, but he's a minimum of 8 or 9 years old, and Stella and Boo will turn 6 this year. So Hydrox is at least 3 or 4 years older than they are, if not more than that. So when Stella and the kittens moved inside, it was because Stella was in heat and I was not going to have her go back outside and risk getting pregnant again. So she moved inside. It was December 29th of 2016. And once she went in heat, she moved inside permanently, and I took her to get spayed like a week later. And Simba went and got neutered the same day that Stella got spayed. They both went to the vet together. The vet was very nice to take both of them. And then a few weeks later, I took Splash. So the 3 of them became permanent inside cats within a few days of each other. The only reason why Boo did not move in at the same time is because Boo had not been around as much as Stella, Splash, and Simba. And Hydrox was not around at all at that time. He was around less than Boo was around. So we have to remember that. And then it wasn't until the following July that Boo showed up at the back door, like all scraped up, and I had no idea what it was from, but Boo showed up looking for help, and Hydrox never showed up specifically looking for help. That never happened. So Boo obviously did, so I'm not going to deny a cat looking for help, so I helped Boo. And since so many people left so many nasty comments on the videos that I had posted of Stella, Splash, and Simba when they were being trained and socialized in the yard, I decided to document Boo's entire journey from that first day that he showed up all scraped up until I got him in the house with the rest of his family. Now, the agenda was always to get Boo in the house with Stella, Splash, and Simba because he was part of their family unit. And I was not going to bring the 3 of them in without bringing Boo in also. Hydrox was never part of their family unit. Hydrox was always off on his own. That being said, Boo knows I'm talking about him, so he showed up. That being said, evidence does point to Hydrox possibly being an older relative to Boo and Stella just because they are from the same feral cat community or feral cat family that lives in the woods by my house. So Boo went through his socialization process, and when that was happening, Hydrox was hanging out in the yard more and more. He still did not live in the yard nearly as much as Boo did. Boo decided he was going to move into the yard, make the patio his home, and Hydrox kind of just roamed in and out when he felt like it on occasion. But the agenda was never to bring Hydrox in because he did not want to come in. He was not looking for help, whereas Boo was looking for help, and he was part of Stella's family with Splash and Simba. All evidence points to Boo being Splash and Simba's father because he was always with Stella. Before I saw the kittens, the two of them were always together. When they weren't together and I would look to see where the kittens were, Boo would be with the kittens while Stella was looking for food. So to me, that's very, very good evidence to point to the fact that Boo is their father. Also the fact that both Simba and Splash share Boo's coloring. Simba has black paws like Boo. For a tabby cat, Simba has a lot of black fur. And of course, Splash has black fur as well as Stella's white fur. And Splash has a very, very similar meow to Boo. So that's more evidence. So then we get to the point where Boo moved into the house. And when Boo moved into the house, Hydrox decided he wanted to spend more time in the patio area because he knew there was plenty of food there. There was an automatic feeder there. There was also cat shelters out there. Now, Boo never lived in one of the cat shelters outside. He hung out pretty much under the house in like the alcove. I used to call that his apartment. And he hung out on the patio furniture, but he never really moved into any of the shelters. Hydrox eventually moved into the shelter under the house when the weather got really bad in the winter. But he never showed any interest in being an inside cat, in coming inside. He never came around looking for help. He was happy to eat the food that was in the yard and use the shelter that was in the yard. But, you know, he's a very independent cat, and he's very happy with that. Then the following year, I put up the second heated cat shelter. That's the one in the doghouse. And then he moved into that one that year. And I think the reason why is because it had a nice view from the door. And he could see everything that was going on the patio from that door. And once again, he's perfectly happy being an outside cat. He does not show any indication, like both Stella and Boo did, that he wants any kind of help. If you try to go near him, he runs away. Stella and Boo both became more friendly over time, and everything that I did with Stella, I did with Boo, and everything that I did with Boo, I've done with Hydrox, and Hydrox responds completely different than Boo did and completely different than Stella did. So Boo responded pretty much the same way Stella did to many of the things that I did when I was training him, and Hydrox responds completely different. He is just happy to be away from me and not come near me, and it's only very recently that he comes near me when I put food out. But he's a very, very different cat than both Boo and Stella. And then, of course, there's Ditto. And the first time that I saw Ditto, I thought he was Hydrox. And it, like, freaked me out. I was like, wait a minute, are there two Hydroxes? And that's when I realized, no, there's another cat that looks exactly like Hydrox, just very, very slightly different. And that's why we named him Ditto, because he's like a copy of Hydrox. I believe Ditto is quite a few years younger than Hydrox also. I think he's probably a year or two younger than Boo. I feel like he is related to Boo and the inside cats, and his meow is so similar to Boo's that he could actually be one of Boo's offspring for all we know. Like, we don't exactly know. So Ditto came around even less frequently than Hydrox did. And obviously when he came around, he was looking for food, and he never looked for shelter in this yard at all until like a month ago when we had that massive snowstorm and we had 2 feet of snow. And that night he came to the back door and he was looking for help the same way that Boo was looking for help when Boo came to the back door. Hydrox has never come to the back door specifically looking for help. And you can tell when a cat is looking for help because they act differently than they do when they're not looking for help. So that night, Ditto was hanging out by the back door, which was not usual for him. It was very unusual for him to do that. And he was staring at me through the back door. And not only was he staring at me, he was watching me, like every move that I made in the kitchen, he was watching me. And with cats, you can kind of tune into what they're thinking and what their thoughts are. And he was actively seeking, some kind of help from all the snow and the cold. And that was the night that I decided, okay, well, let's try to get him in the doghouse shelter since Hydrox is not using that. And thankfully, I had some catnip on hand. So I put a trail of catnip leading up to the shelter, and I put some catnip in the shelter, and within minutes, in the time it took me to walk inside and look out the window, he had discovered the catnip and had made his way to the door of the shelter and was just entering the shelter as I was looking out of the window. And he stayed in that shelter all night. So Ditto was given the same opportunities that Hydrox was given. He just did not want to take them. He didn't want to use a shelter for years until the night of that really bad snowstorm. And then all of a sudden he showed up and he's like, can you help me? So I showed him how to use the shelter, and he has been so happy in that shelter. Now, a few weeks after that, we had a crazy raccoon show up and attack the window on Hydrox's shelter and also try to attack Ditto in the doghouse shelter. And it was the door on the doghouse shelter that really kind of saved Ditto from being attacked by the raccoon. And since that night, Hydrox has wanted to switch shelters, and he is back in the doghouse shelter, while Ditto is now using the shelter that's under the house, which was the shelter that Hydrox was using. That's the custom-built shelter. It's bigger than the doghouse shelter. They both have heated pep mats in them, and the shelter under the house has 2 vestibules as well as a window. So that's the story of the cats, and neither Ditto nor Hydrox are going to become indoor cats inside this house because I am full. I have 4 cats in this house. I'm not bringing in another cat or 2 other cats. I already don't have enough hours in the day to do everything that I need to do. You also need to remember that the videos that are posted on this channel show less than 1% of what goes on in the lives of these cats. There are 1,440 minutes in a day, and I have been posting about 10 minutes worth of footage for each day. Sometimes not even 10 minutes worth of footage, sometimes only 5 minutes worth of footage, but let's say 10 minutes. So if I post 10 minutes worth of footage from one day, that is about 1/2 of 1% of what goes on during an entire day. 1/2 of 1%. So that is a very, very small peek into the lives of these cats. So you really can't make any judgments or conclusions based off of such a small amount of footage. And it's also highly edited footage, so sometimes it could be interpreted the wrong way. But you always have to keep that in mind. So just because you don't see something in the footage doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It only means that you're not seeing it because I don't post everything that happens every minute in the lives of these cats. So you always have to keep that in mind Now, as far as Hydrox being depressed and feeling not cared for, I think that's the exact opposite. I think Hydrox feels more cared for now than he ever has, because he is being more cared for now than he ever has. And the fact that Ditto has been hanging out in the yard with him makes Hydrox even happier than he has been. Hydrox and Ditto are nowhere near ready to find a home somewhere other than pretty much where they are outside, because they only let me pet them very briefly. Hydrox, not even all the time. He still swats at me, and he's a really strong cat. And they're very much fearful of people. So if a total stranger walked into my yard, they both run away. They're used to me, they're used to Grandma and Grandpa, they're used to the UPS driver. They're used to people who come here on a regular basis, but anyone else, they're going to completely run away from. And that's not an indication of a cat that is ready to be adopted by someone or to make a home inside of a house. Before a cat can be brought inside, someone has to be able to pet them on a regular basis. With Boo, I was also brushing him on a regular basis and be able to pick them up. So if something should happen, if you bring them inside, you know, you're going to have to get them out of the house at some point. You're going to have to put them in a carrier. So it's very important to be able to pick that cat up. So with Stella, Splash, and Simba, I was able to just pick them up before they even moved inside. And with Boo, I was able to, you know, scruff carry him, pick him up by the scruff of his neck and get him in a carrier that way. It's impossible to do that with Hydrox and Ditto at this point. So it would not be possible for them to be adopted by anyone or to have a home inside of someone's house right now. I mean, that's just the reality of it, because if they were trapped right now and if someone decided, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna take these cats inside, those cats are gonna be traumatized by that and they're not gonna like that. I believe it should be a more gradual process, and they're both not there yet, and it takes many hours of training to do that. I don't believe it's impossible to do that. I just think they're not there yet, and possibly they don't even want to be there yet. I think maybe Ditto will one day eventually become a house cat, but I don't think he's ready to be there yet. He still has a bit of a ways to go, but there's no room in my house for either of them, so it's not going to be me. So yeah, I think that addressed everything that was in that letter. Don't feel that Hydrox is depressed, because he's not a depressed cat. He's a very happy cat. Ditto does not make Hydrox depressed at all. Ditto makes Hydrox very happy. Hydrox goes out of his way to call Ditto into the yard whenever food is served, and stuff like that. So Hydrox and Ditto are friends, and they do like each other. And Hydrox is definitely not disturbed if Ditto comes by and eats some of his food, because Ditto and Hydrox love sharing plates. They absolutely love eating together and sharing plates, so much so that recently I've had to feed them on the same plate. Instead of two separate small plates, they'd much rather eat on one large plate so they could eat together. So that's where it's at. And again, once again, remember that if I'm filming something, it doesn't mean I'm showing you everything that's happening. It just means I am describing what's been going on with the cats and showing you a little bit of what's happening. I don't have cameras running 24/7 when it comes to the vlogs. If you want to see 24/7, subscribe to Lucky Ferals Live, because I do have those cameras running 24/7, or at least they have been running 24/7, and that's a view of inside the custom cat shelter, the outside of the doghouse shelter, and the feral cat feeder, and that's a separate channel. But thank you so much for your letter. Thank you so much for expressing your concerns, and thank you so much for helping to feed Ditto and Hydrox with the gift card. We hope you enjoy the videos. Please take some time to catch up with the progress of Hydrox and Ditto, and hope you have a great day. Look, Stella, look, we got another envelope. It says to Lucky Ferals from Dalila. And look at the cats on it. Do you see the stickers? Look at the stickers. It looks like Hydrox and Ditto. That looks like Hydrox and Ditto with a little more white. That looks like Simba and Splash. Look, it looks like Simba and Splash. And that looks like Simba and Splash too when they're fighting. That's so cute. And look at this one. What is it, Stella? Is it another letter? Look at that cute cat. It's eating a fish. It looks like Simba eating a minnow. That's so cute. Oh, thank you very much. It says, Dear Lucky, how are you and the cats doing? We're doing good. Last time I sent you something, I got really excited. By the way, I hope they were able to buy treats. Yes, we did buy some treats. Thank you very much. So I made a Lucky Ferals puzzle. Stella with her boa, Boo with his dragonfly toys, Splash with his worm toy, Simba with his pom-pom wand, Hydrox with the chipmunk, and Ditto with the squirrel. That's really cool. Ooh, check this out. Look. Here's Stella and her boa. Isn't that cute? And here's Boo with his dragonfly. And here's Simba with his pom-pom toy. And this is, who is this? Is this Hydrox or Ditto? This is Hydrox with the chipmunk. I think it's Hydrox with the chipmunk. Yeah, because this says Ditto with the squirrel. And there's Splash. That looks just like Splash. Alright, let's see if we could put this together. Can we put this together? Does that go there? Look, I think I got it. I think I got it. Okay, I think this goes here. Is that right? Okay, who's here? Is this Boo? Oh, there's Boo. Wow, Dalila, you are very creative. I think this goes here. And that goes there. Look how cool that is. Isn't that awesome? Dalila, you're an awesome artist. If you drew these, that's awesome. It looks just like the cats. That's so cool. Look at Splash. Thank you very much, Dalila. Stella, look. That's you, Stella. That's you. Don't bite it. Look, it's you, Stella. Look. It looks like you, don't it? Stella says it's very pretty. It's pretty like she is. And she loves the boa. Thank you very much, Dalila. Alright, we have an envelope here. I believe this is from Bad Billy. Let's open it up and see. Yeah, this is a book from Bad Billy. It says The Adventures of the Dark Lord Cat by Amanda Marie. He sent this because he thinks it would make a good story time for the cats. I've never seen this before, and I think he also told me that this is from another YouTuber, so I'll have to check it out. I don't have a whole lot of time to watch many videos, so I will definitely be checking that out. Thank you so much, Bad Billy. I know the cats are going to enjoy listening to this book. Okay, Stella, come on. We got a box to open. You want to open it? What do you think it is? You afraid of it? Stella's backing away. What is it, Stella? What did you get, Stella? Ooh, you got food. Or maybe it's for Hydrox and Ditto. It's a box of Simply Perfection Super Premium Cat Food. Grain-free 6 turkey and chicken feast and 6 seafood dinner. This says the kids deserve super premium no grain, right? More flavors to delight their taste buds. Fingers crossed from Bad Billy. Thank you so much, Bad Billy, for this cat food. I really think the cats are going to like it. I've never seen this food before, but Stella's very interested in it right now. Thank you so much for thinking of the cats. And there's one more envelope here, Stella. What do you think this is? It's kind of heavy. Want to open it? Let's open this up, Stella. What did you get? What'd you get? Is it food? It must be. She's smelling it. And this is more food from Bad Billy. This is Simply Perfection Super Premium Cat Food, and these are salmon and tuna flavors, flaked in sauce. Thank you very much. The cats are going to like these on their fish day, 1 day a week. The cats get fish in a can, so this will be perfect for that. So thank you very much, Bad Billy, for all of the goodies. Stella says she can't wait to try the food. It's 1:29 p.m. Look how pretty Boo looks. He's hanging out on the day sofa. He looks so comfortable and he looks so handsome. Look at him. How you doing, Boo? Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.